morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering the Iowa versus LSU showdown. We'll also be covering the 76ers' Joel Embiid nearing return, perhaps as soon as Tuesday, which is today. And since it is Tuesday, we are going to be doing our rendition of feel-good stories, which Tate is wanting me to call it Keeping the Faith. So
it is called Keeping the Faith.
So that's what we're going to be covering in our last two segments today. But before we start, guys, I'd like to ask you guys like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show. So to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use that tips and donation link. The link is gsmcpodcast.net. This will put your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it just also really helps the show. So good morning.
Hello.
Or
Good
afternoon.
morning. Yeah, it's 12:06, so it's like, it is
Freshly
officially. Yes.
I didn't realize
So-
we're matching today. We got
This is-
black on.
Originally, I had blue on
Mm-hmm.
and started walking out to the car, and then I looked at my shoes, and I was like, no. You ever have that day when you look at yourself in the house, and you're like, okay, I got it going on, and then you step out and the actual sun hits you, and it's
Yes.
like, oh no, 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 you got to rethink that outfit.
Yeah, for me though, I'll spend like 30 minutes with an outfit, and when I finally decide one, by the time I walk outside the house, it's just like, all right, well, this is what we're gonna wear, whether I like it outside or not.
Now, see, and at my old house, I was big on putting daylight light bulbs all throughout the house.
Mhm.
So you walk in there, what you see is what you walk outside, what you see is what you get.
Mhm.
But when you have that yellow light, things don't look the same. And then you step out there, and next thing you know, you're like, whoa, this
Mhm.
just did not look the way I was hoping it was going to look.
Yeah.
So I went back in the house. I had a blue shirt on. I changed up really quick and grabbed this and hauled butt out.
Well, you're styling and profiling.
Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome.
We're matching a little bit. I can handle that. So how was your Tuesday morning?
My Tuesday morning's going pretty good. I will say I was pretty upset with myself. I woke up about 30 seconds before my alarm went off this morning, and I was very upset by that.
Oh, you were up. Wait. You were upset that you woke up before your alarm?
Yes. I hate waking up before my alarm.
Really?
Yeah.
God, wait. So you only just a few seconds before.
I was upset by that. Yeah.
That makes absolutely no sense to me. That goes against everything I know. So wouldn't that be better? Like the alarm kind of scares you awake.
I mean,
And this is like a more gentle awake. You just naturally woke up, turned your alarm off.
I guess, but I love my sleep. I wish I could have gotten that extra 30 seconds.
Oh, shit. Are you kidding me? You're like upset about extra. I always I don't even set alarms at all. But I used to always wake up before my alarm clock, and maybe only a couple times in my life have an alarm woke me up.
Mhm.
So this is just different worlds. We are so different on that one.
Yeah.
And you love your sleep so
I
much.
love my
That is
sleep.
wow. That is interesting.
Yeah.
The alarm, I woke up 30 seconds before my alarm went off, and I was upset about it. You lost 30 seconds.
Yeah. Well, which is weird because I only got like 6 hours of sleep last night. I went to bed at 11 o'clock and then woke up at
Wow.
5. Well,
I
4:59.
I think I got about 3 hours, which is my normal.
Normal. Yeah.
Yes. Everything's all screwy because for you guys, the time change has already happened. This week was when we finally changed the times, and we're back to the way it is, where there's a 5-hour difference between the US East Coast and Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So adjusting to it is still kind of weird. So I'm just adjusting to it. And then last night, how bright it is. You leave the office and it's like,
Hmm.
whoa, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of sun. There's a lot of sunlight here, so it's just
Yeah.
like a little different.
That's the
So
only thing with time change here is now like having to go to bed so early and it's finally getting dark at like 8 p.m. It's so hard to get myself in bed at 9 o'clock now.
yeah, yeah. What time do you go to bed?
I normally go to bed. It differs depending on the day and what I've done, everything like that. So last night I didn't go to bed till 11, but normally I'm in bed by like 9:30 ish,
Whoa.
sometimes
You
10.
are way too young to be going to bed at 9:30. Listen, Grandma Faith.
Listen, if I have to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, I want to make sure that I get enough sleep.
Yeah, you love your sleep. All right, let's dive into this. What do you have for me this fine day?
Alrighty, so Iowa and LSU uh, went head to head yesterday, and Iowa put the smackdown on LSU. So with a 94-87 victory, fueled by 41 points from Caitlin Clark, the Hawkeyes are back in the Final Four. Iowa came out swinging, led by the first of nine Clark's threes and a breakneck pace of play. LSU had to absorb the punches and establish its post play through Angel Reese. Then the Tigers went on their run and Iowa had to respond. Basketball is usually a game of momentum swings, and you've got to make yours right as long as you can and hang on during theirs, Iowa coach Lisa Boulder said. She saw something in Clark's eyes as her Hawkeyes came back out after halftime, game tied 45-45, something that told her Clark would be launching shots from wherever she wanted to on the court. Bludder, Lisa Bludder, I think. I don't know if I said
Okay.
that right. The coach of Iowa's coach has seen that look. She knows that Clark's range isn't confined anywhere in the building. She watched Clark land another punch, a deep three, her third of the night, to give Iowa the lead at the start of the third quarter. The Hawkeyes would never relinquish it. Clark kept shooting and she kept hitting. By the time the final buzzer sounded, she also had 12 assists and accounted for 67 of Iowa's points, which is 71%. Tied the NCAA tournament single game record with 9 3-pointers, broke the NCAA tournament record with 140 assists, and became the first player with 3 40-point tournament games. She ended up 3 rebounds shy of a triple-double in a game that everyone on both sidelines knew essentially would be won or lost by her. She did all that in a game in which Reese played through a bum ankle, nearly posted a 28-20 double-double, and gave it everything that she had until she ran out of fouls to give. They did all that in a game in which Flaujae Johnson hit big shots and dazzled defensively, nearly single-handedly keeping the Tigers in the game during the Hawkeyes' third quarter barrage of buckets. And Iowa captain Kate Martin scored 21 points, each and every one coming at just the right time. Ultimately, the Hawkeyes avenged their championship loss. They cut down both nets and doused their coach in confetti, and Clark ended her night with a piece of the net tucked in her baseball cap and a big smile on her face.
Okay.
This
So
lady's a beast.
she is. Okay. First, I had to scramble to get to see some of the highlights and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at this and, the time change for
Yeah.
me. And so I missed the game. I'm thinking the game was today. It was last night. So I'm
Yeah.
like scrambling, trying to find out what happened, watch the game, I was watching some of the highlights and everything. Get caught up. And it's like, is there anything anyone else can say about Caitlin Clark now?
I don't think so.
I've had a number of people who are like, wait till she gets up, get some of the good girls. Well, LSU are the good girls.
Yeah.
They got players upon players with a side order of players.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no answer for Caitlin Clark. I
Mm-hmm.
was watching some of the highlights. This girl is just bombing them.
Yeah.
For her to be, she seems so, it looks like a skinny, wiry girl.
Mm-hmm.
but she has range. I mean,
Yeah.
she has killer range. I'm watching her just go down and just pull up, bam, pull up
Mm-hmm.
again and again. When you look around and you look at trying to get to the final four and coming up with maybe one of the best games in Final Four history with
Mm-hmm.
almost a 40-point triple double is something very few people have ever done, making it this far.
Mm-hmm.
When you start looking at her and people that don't want to say she's the greatest of all time, her resume speaks for itself.
Yeah,
She
she
is
accounted for 71% of Iowa's points last night.
exactly if you took her out, Iowa gets dog walked in this game. Am I right?
Done. They're done. Yeah.
She was the key, the catalyst. 71 points, 70% of the points scored.
Mm-hmm.
She had a hand in doing it,
Mm-hmm.
either dishing it off, pulling down a rebound, or nailing a shot from anywhere she wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
That game, it was her world, and she just allowed everybody else to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you look around and there's people who it's like not happy about her getting the offer with the big three. Why not? All it does is boost up women's sport.
Mm-hmm.
And with the range that she has, that range just makes it so she can play anywhere. It comes and it still makes me wonder, does she not deserve at least a tryout with an NBA team? I just want to see it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think so.
she's, you could put her in that kind of Steph Curry type position where, she's a shooter. I would love to see her get a shot. I'm not saying she's good enough to be uh, an NBA star, but can she make a squad? I mean, this girl has killer range. Like basketball, a lot of basketball is upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And she has high IQ on the court.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that transitions on male, female, doesn't matter. And then the fact that you're a great shooter, ball handler, she does it all.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first started hearing about her, and it's like, yeah, she's okay. Let's see how it goes. But it just like the more you learn about her, the bigger the moments are. The bigger the moments are, the better she plays.
Mm-hmm.
She's just built different. This was the team that knocked them out last year, right? The team that I remember with her the other girl Reese waving bye to her and things. Well, guess what? Payback's a B,
Yeah,
and
it
she. and, I mean, and Caitlin dished it out. She did
Mm-hmm.
everything, and this is what I mean about the Caitlin effect that I love is the fact that it's always been, if you're going to talk about WNBA or you're going to talk about women's basketball, the first segment, you're going to go to the NBA or LeBron, the Lakers, the
Mm-hmm.
Knicks. Second, maybe you bring in March Madness. You bring in normally anything but women's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin is making it so that we're leading off with Caitlin.
Yeah.
She has that Midas touch that is really bringing up women's basketball, and I'm happy to support her
Mm-hmm.
because now think about this: she's in the Final Four now.
Mm-hmm.
That's must see TV. That's gonna. I got a feeling that this Final Four is gonna break records
Mm-hmm.
for most viewed women's college collegiate game in history.
Mm-hmm.
They're, just watching, Final Four is a big deal anyway. But with Caitlin being in the Final Four, I'm very curious to see if their numbers are on par with the men. That's what I would like to see. I want to see how many people tune in to see this woman, because this was the game here. LSU, if there was anyone that was going to knock them out, it was going to be LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Reese is no joke either. And even though she didn't come up and get the win, make no mistake about it, she's one of the mega stars in the future of college basketball is Reese. And Caitlin, is she not the next LeBron James in women's sports?
I don't see why not, why she wouldn't be. I mean,
I
like you said before, comparing her to like what Magic did for the NBA, she definitely, I feel, is going to have that type of effect on the WNBA.
Oh, I agree with you. And that is a great point.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great point. People don't remember how much trouble the NBA was in.
Mm.
Their ratings were super low. They were, if you could catch an NBA game, sometimes it's a replay in the middle of the night. You get like a game on Sunday. You barely caught the NBA until Magic played Bird in the NCAA finals and the championship, which I think is still the most most viewed basketball game in history.
Mm.
And then Bird went to the Celtics, Magic went to the Lakers, and that rivalry, them kept running into each other in the finals, just brought the NBA to all new heights.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to see, a Reese, Caitlin Clark kind of rivalry like that, or Caitlin just take off like Jordan did. And I know it sounds blasphemous to say take off like Jordan did, but she's in rarefied air.
Mm-hmm.
She's when you're the elite of the elite category in women's basketball now, guys. So do not take her for granted. She's a special woman.
Yeah.
I look at her. When I look at her, I don't say that's the greatest basketball player to ever live. No way.
Mm-hmm.
She looks nothing like what I would expect the greatest basketball player. But then you watch her and it's like, that girl got it. That girl got it. She got it in spades. So I am so impressed with her.
Yeah.
Congratulations on Iowa making it to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like her resume is complete. She's made it to the Final Four. Does she have to win it all to still be considered the greatest, or is she already the greatest? Because in my eyes, she's already the greatest. Her and Cheryl Miller are the two greatest of all time in my eyes already. Mm-hmm. So, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just impressed. I mean, basketball's never been a sport that I really enjoy watching. But
it's because of that height challenge. Is that what it is? You don't have a crossover or fade away or anything?
No, I can't play football either, but I like watching football.
That is hilarious.
But with how Caitlin Clark is playing and how she's doing, I am tempted. I'm very tempted to watch a females college basketball game.
Oh, I thought you were saying you were tempted, like you're coming out of retirement, but about to go back on the court.
Retirement of what? I have never stepped. The only time I played basketball was when I was made to in gym class.
Oh, that is funny. All right, then.
Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're still going to be on the topic of basketball, and we're going to be discussing 76ers Joel Embiid nearing return, perhaps as soon as Tuesday, which is today. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were discussing the Iowa versus LSU showdown and Caitlin Clark, and now we're going to be talking about 76ers Joel Embiid nearing return, perhaps as soon as Tuesday, which is today. But before we do that, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. We get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is gsmcpodcast.net. This just puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it just also really helps the show. So,
Right.
alrighty.
You're dishing it out.
I'm dishing it out, man.
You're doing good. All right.
I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing today.
I must admit, I'm looking at you and I'm like, I like the black, the dark hair with the black.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
She's like, I'll give you a little bit more.
Oh,
All
gosh. All
So
right.
what do you have?
So, 76ers Joel Embiid nearing return perhaps as soon as Tuesday, which is today. 76ers star Joel Embiid is closing in on a comeback possibly as soon as Tuesday's home game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, league sources tell The Athletic. Embiid has been sidelined since January 30th when the Golden State Warriors' Jonathan Kuminga inadvertently fell on his leg just below the knee. Embiid had surgery on the lateral meniscus in his left knee in early February, and The Athletic reported that the center could be sidelined for up to 2 months based on his rehab and recovery. Embiid and the 76ers are still working to finalize his return date, but it is believed to be any day now. The reigning NBA MVP has completed multiple 5-on-5 scrimmages at practice in recent days, league sources said. The 76ers have 7 games left in the regular season, including 4 this week: Tuesday against the Thunder, Thursday in Miami, Saturday in Memphis, and Sunday in San Antonio. 76ers coach Nick Nurse said last week that the team was optimistic about Embiid's returning to action before the regular season ends. Embiid was in the midst of a historic season before his absence, averaging 35.3 points, 11.3 rebounds, and 5.7 assists in 34 games. I already can guess how you feel about this.
Well, you have inside information because we've been talking about it in the production meeting yesterday. I look at it as not necessarily a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
The 76ers are 40-35. They're the number 8 seed, most likely with 7 games left. They're in the play-in tournament at best.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm looking at the 76ers and their future, I don't think this is the year for the 76ers. I would say I would have rather seen the 76ers be more cautious on the side of making sure their superstar center is taken care of and is healthy and ready to go for next season than this season.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the play-in. I don't think anyone is really considering them a championship contending team, why not Embiid, who is a big-bodied man who has been suffered numerous injuries? Why not get him as healthy as possible? Take this season as a get healthy season and then move forward. Rushing him back is risky. A major, coming off of surgery, he could have an injury, a major setback on a season in which no one thinks they really can do much this year anyway. No one is looking at them as a championship contending team. I don't even think anyone looks at them as a team that can get out of the first round this year. So rushing him back, is it really a good thing? Some of the people in our production meeting, a lot of them are like, well, they feel like the 76ers are rushing him back because that's what he wants, out of fear that if they don't play him, they'll lose him, that he's going to ask to be traded. Mm-hmm. That was some of the speculation that came in. And I came back with the fact that, which is more likely to happen, the 76ers to say, hey, we want to wait, let you get as healthy as possible. We want to strengthen our lineup. We want to go after Paul George or go after this guy and come back with you extremely healthy and ready to go. Plus, we're going to put some weapons around you so we can really go for a championship this year. Or them having him come back early, maybe possibly re-injuring himself, or them coming in and getting smoked in the play-in tournament or bumped out in the first round, and him looking at the team like, we're never going to win a championship. We're too far away to win a championship, and then asking out. If, like, people speculated that, there's a chance that he may ask out, which situation makes it a better situation for him to stay? Ultimately, I think making sure he's as healthy as possible and putting the pieces around him so that he can come back next year at MVP level, than for him to kind of work his way back in and then get bumped out early. Because I just don't see them making it. I could see them getting out of the first round, getting out of the play-in, but then, they come in as let's say they come in the first round and they're pulling, let's say, the Celtics. I'm taking the Celtics in with them if they make it out of play-in, or they're playing the Bucks. It's not a pretty situation this year for him. I'm not rushing him back at all. He is incredibly too valuable. He's coming off an MVP season, then getting injured. I would rather make sure that he is taken care of long-term than to rush him back. Does that make sense at all, Faith?
Yeah, no, it does. A meniscus, a tear in your meniscus, you need time to recover from that. And honestly, 2 months, I don't really feel like is enough time.
2 months, a normal person, when they have surgery on their meniscus, that's a year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's a year rehab. Mm-hmm. That is one of the roughest surgeries, one of the roughest situations to rehab and to come back from. It's admirable that he's working hard. He's determined to come back. Mm-hmm. But I don't like taking a chance on a guy, on a 7-footer with that much size and weight, rushing him back for, I think, games that aren't going to really matter. Mm-hmm. If I understand why they want him back now. There's only 7 games left, and they're trying to get him in some games to get kind of worked in before the playoffs.
But there's only 7 games left.
Yeah, they're what they're trying to do is get him into kind of game shape so that he's ready when the play-in tournament happens. so that maybe they can cause some damage in the play-in tournament and make the playoffs. And I would be lying when I look at them and I look at it and I say the play-in, I think they're making it out of the play-in. They'll make the playoffs, but then your first round, you're pulling the Celtics or the Bucks, and they just don't match up well. This is more than what I think they're capable of doing this year. Now, some people would look at it and say, so what? They were going to have to play the Celtics or the Bucks, or the Celtics and the Bucks at some point to win a championship this year. My whole thing is, I just don't think they're going to win a championship this year. That's the thing that concerns me the most is, how do you set your team up? If you can't win a championship this year, how do you set your team up for long-term success? Trust the process is what, he's the process. And if he gets injured, I mean, it's a very delicate situation, because I do understand many other basketball experts are saying that, it's now or never, that he could possibly look to be moved in this offseason if he's not happy. But I say Embiid has always been a very loyal to the 76ers. He has never really shown any real interest in leaving the 76ers. I say set him up for next year, not this year. I just don't see him getting out of that first round.
Right, because what happens if he gets injured again? How much more time is it going to take for him to, recover from that? Because, I mean, I had friends in high school who played softball, and I had a friend who, I think she tore a meniscus or something like that, and she had to have like multiple surgeries on it, because I think after her first one, she went back to playing softball and then hurt it again, and then had to have a couple more surgeries after that. So, like, with a 2-month recovery and then trying to shove him back onto the court, I don't think it's a good idea. I really don't.
No, I mean, and this is not, I mean, I'm not lowering what you're saying about your friend. This is not a girl or a guy who's playing softball. This is a 7-foot giant.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more muscle. There's a lot more there. It's a lot easier. I know he has the best treatment, but a meniscus tear. Are you able to look up like what's the recovery time, the normal recovery time for a meniscus tear? I could have sworn it's like 6 to 12 months. He's coming back in 2 months, less than 2 months. It just does not, back injury, knee injury, torn meniscus. He's been a walking mass unit. Get him healthy, get him ready, so that he can play next year, not this year. Did you find it?
Meniscus repair recovery time is typically 6 to 9 months, depending on the activities of the patient.
6 to 9 month injury. Go ahead.
It says motion is typically restricted for the first 4 to 6 weeks to allow the meniscus to heal. So I guess they're thinking, it's past the 4 to 6 week point, so that they can put him back up on the court.
It's also quite amazing what athletes can do. You look at this and you're saying that 6 to 9 months recovery time. He's 2 months. He's not saying like, I'm going to start back walking. No. He's ready. He wants to be ready to play an NBA game tonight.
Yeah.
This is when, most people are not even allowed to move their leg for the first 8 weeks, the 8 to 10 weeks. This guy is ready to go.
Yeah.
But there are risks. Yes, the NBA has some of the best doctors there is. And it doesn't surprise me that players come back. But I was watching an interview that Robert Griffin III was doing. And he was talking about Robert Griffin III was a quarterback for, at the time, it's the Washington Commanders, now it was the Washington Redskins at the time. And he was their rookie of the year quarterback. He tore his knee up and he rushed back. And I was watching this over the weekend. He was talking about the biggest mistake he ever made in his life was coming back early. It ruined his entire career. He's a young guy, but he's not in the league anymore. Can't even get in the league. And he knows why he's not in there, strictly because he came back early. He talked to the doctors and all those guys wanted him to come back he could come back and he could play. The pressure of playing, especially for a guy that's coming off an MVP, there's a lot of pressure. And players want to play, but there's business decisions that need to be made. And the business decision is, it's better for you, if you're the general manager, sitting down with him and just saying, it's better for you to get as healthy as possible, heal this up to its best, and then come back better than ever next season than to rush back, re-injure yourself, or we get bumped in the first round and you re-injure yourself. That's all I'm saying. I just don't look at it as a smart decision.
Yeah, I agree.
So, all right.
I agree. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into our Keeping the Faith.
See, here's the thing. Faith is
Positive
not
news
comfortable
stories.
with it being her name. She's not used to being in the spotlight, and so she tries to be. She's this amazing flower, but she's trying to be a wallflower.
Trying to be
We're
humble,
keeping the faith. I'm keeping the faith.
Alrighty, guys. Well, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to do our positive news stories for the day. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about Joel Embiid nearing return, perhaps as soon as Tuesday, which is today. And now we're going to dive into our Keeping the Faith.
I like it.
Positive news stories.
You got to put some authority on that one.
Keeping the faith.
These are the feel-good moments, stories that Faith wants to share.
Yes.
But most times I'm like, nah, let's pass on these suckers.
I like them. It's nice to hear some nice positive news, especially with what's going on in the world right now. It's nice to hear that, not everything is so bad.
I'm liking the messy ones, but let's see.
The messy ones are fun too. Yes.
All right.
Okay. So, an Oklahoma man pays off student lunches to honor his beloved wife. If you have ever had a child in school, you know that school lunch debt can be a lot to take on, especially if you are a single parent trying to get by in an economy that keeps raising prices on everything. One man is trying to make a difference when it comes to the stress parents feel. Lunch debt in Oklahoma school districts are getting paid off thanks to Sean Cummings, and the reason behind his generous act is touching. He is honoring his wife. Sean is hoping to honor his wife's legacy with these acts of kindness, and he's taken to social media to spread the news. Recently, Sean wrote a check to 20 schools in his home state of Oklahoma, wiping out thousands of dollars of lunch debt for hundreds of students in several districts. This started when his late wife, Kathy, who died of cancer in February, wanted to do something to make an impact. This was one of the things. She was a chef, she owned restaurants, and her biggest thing was to feed people, Cummings said. Instead of flowers, he asked for donations to go towards easing school lunch debt in public schools, according to a GoFundMe page. The idea took off as loved ones and the community showed their love for Kathy. The effort raised more than $70,000. Sean said that Kathy wanted to make a positive change before her death, and this was one of the most fitting ways to help her do that. This isn't just about making sure kids can grab food at school, even though that is a huge part of the mission. Sean added that if seniors have debt at the time of graduation, they either can't graduate or can't get their school transcripts sent to college. Some schools were even taking and holding diplomas until the debt that parents sometimes can't pay was dealt with. Now students don't have to worry about that debt, and Sean isn't slowing down. He says that he will keep paying off lunch debt as long as he keeps getting donations to do so. So, if you would like to donate to help Sean honor Kathy and ease the burden of school lunch debt or families in Oklahoma, you can make a donation to the GoFundMe page. So,
Okay. This one is a little weird to me. It's a great story, but the ending kind of shocked me. First off, I did not know that kids, they have lunch debt. And if they don't graduate, if they don't pay that debt, they can't get their transcripts to go to college or get their diploma.
yeah, I didn't know
That's
there
nuts.
was I didn't know there was this thing as school lunch debt either. I also went to a school where I got free lunch, so I didn't have to pay for lunch at school.
Yeah, but no, there should not be. That should be just outlawed altogether.
Yeah.
You
I agree.
know, your kid has made it, and you can get a scholarship or trying to get to college, and your high school's like, no, kid, you're not going to college because you owe some money on them sandwiches you had last week. So we're not sending your transcripts.
Yeah.
That sounds crazy to me.
That is a crazy concept, yeah.
That sounds absolutely crazy. Or you can't get your diploma, or you can't get your transcripts, or you can't graduate.
Yeah.
Okay, what happens? There are some poor families out there, and let's say this what this guy is doing is absolutely amazing, and I definitely commend him for it. And I feel bad for him for losing his wife. I couldn't even imagine going through something like that. But the beautiful thing about it is the fact that his wife and him wanted to make a difference in helping kids in Oklahoma, be able to wipe out that debt. My problem is that debt shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
It shouldn't exist at all.
Yeah. It's crazy that debt is now starting for kids in high school. That's absolutely insane to me. That's crazy.
So if you're a poor kid in Oklahoma, and there's some poor ones, and unfortunately, whatever remains is their parents have no money at all. So little Jimmy goes to school, and he has to eat, so he has to eat. But he's worked hard, and he's got his grades and everything. And now he has a chance to go to college, maybe get a scholarship. But some high school's gonna say, sorry, no, we're not giving the transcripts. No, you're not walking across stage
Mm-hmm.
because you owe for back for lunches.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds impossible. That how is that not a story?
That should
Everything
be a
else is
story. Yeah.
that should be a massive story.
Mm-hmm. That should be a story.
There's no, I think about, and I'm not trying to get political, but I know Michelle Obama once upon a time had a program for healthier school lunches, but
Not, they were not good.
no one talked about. Oh, yeah, are you
They were
serious?
not good. They were not
Oh,
good.
but here's the thing with that one is healthy lunches rarely ever taste good. The bad ones, the unhealthy lunches,
It
that's what really is the ones
no,
that taste
so
good.
the healthy lunches were pre-packaged things. So it wasn't like used to when our lunch ladies were actually making us lunch. They had to use the whatever pre-packaged food was sent to them because, I it was a good idea. I think it was just not played out very well because that food was God, it was so bad.
Wow. See, I remember growing up and being in elementary and middle school and high school. I always loved the school lunches.
Hmm.
I've talked to so many people that over the years have talked so bad about school lunches. But
Hmm.
I talked to kids in my town, and the kids, people, grown people are still posting like the cafeteria pizza
Oh, see,
and
we
all
got
that
those,
stuff.
and those were delicious.
Okay, all right, because I'm like that
And
stuff
then
was banging.
there was the cafeteria lunch pizza. There was the cafeteria cheese sticks. God, those were so good. What else?
I know. I remember
Oh,
like the fish sticks weren't good though. They
we
had
never.
cheese
I
in
don't.
them and everything. Oh, those were
I don't
horrible.
think we got fish sticks. Oh, the breakfast corn dogs. Those were
Oh, we
so
didn't see.
good.
No, we didn't have the breakfast. We didn't have that.
So
We
essentially,
had
it was like a sausage, and the corn dog part was kind of like it was the same consistency and kind of tasted like a pancake, and they would give you that, and
Oh, I
then
do know because we had
dip it in the
pancakes and
syrup.
sausage. Girl, I know what you're talking about there.
So good.
But see, that stuff's not really healthy for you. I
No,
was, I'm picturing like, salads and
I mean
healthy greens and all that stuff.
we got salads too. They were
Well, okay,
okay.
what's my like they had like pizza burgers and burrito. A lot of this
Pizza
stuff was,
burgers.
girl, you don't know what a pizza burger is. It was a hamburger patty, had pizza sauce on it, had some pepperoni and mozzarella cheese, and it's grilled
That
real
sounds
nice and crispy. Ooh wee.
so American and so good.
That is so American, girl. There's
The pizza burger.
it's so many things are so American. It's not even funny. And I would go
Hmm.
back to our original topic, but the hardest thing for me is I'll go. There's a snack shop next door to us. The snack shops don't like they're little restaurants, which is
Hmm.
what they are, but they call them snack shops here.
Hmm.
And I go there and I'll be like, I just want a breakfast croissant. And they don't understand what I'm saying, breakfast croissant. So I'm like, okay, cut a croissant in half, scramble egg, bacon or sausage, some cheese, put it in the middle. It's just the most foreign concept. They're just so confused on it. It has never come out exactly the same way. Anytime I order
Stupid
it.
Americans coming in here.
The one guy calls it's like the American, the Tate sandwich. And all it is a breakfast, is a croissant with egg and cheese and bacon and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But anyway, back to this. that's a travesty that the kids are not able to
Yeah.
graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Or
so
get
if
their
a kid is
transcript.
super poor and
Mm-hmm.
they're not allowed to graduate or get their transcripts or anything, they have to come back next year. Is that what you're saying? Does that really happen?
I guess so. I don't know. I don't know what would I maybe they'll finally give them their diploma when they pay off the debt, but how long is it, how much money have they allocated,
Are the
How long
kids
is it
working
gonna
on a chain gang, digging ditches to pay off their lunch debt? What is going
Yeah,
on?
I don't know. I don't know.
Something needs to be, if that's the case, the kids can't get their transcripts or their diploma or can't walk across stage. That's a travesty. Even if I'm assuming most likely they're saying like you can't walk. You'll
Mm-hmm.
get your diploma in the mail, but you won't be able to walk across stage. No, I still say they should, your graduating should not have to do anything with your lunch debt.
Mm-hmm.
And why is the kids, they're minors. They should not have lunch debt at
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah.
But it's a double because I could see school budgets, and that's more on a local level.
Mm-hmm.
Schools gets cut so much. It's it's
Yeah.
it's horrible. One of the things that I have always done, always, I don't even read them, just being truthful. Every time there's a ballot on the on for a proposition on the ballot for the schools to get more money,
Mm-hmm.
don't even bother reading. It's like, yep, more money for the schools.
Mm-hmm.
I'm voting yes for it every single time. The schools get cut so much. How can that be? I feel like the schools should be getting so much more. I would love for someone to really come out and overhaul the school system and make sure kids are getting healthy lunches. They are graduating
Mm-hmm.
and have the chance to move on to and get college degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't
I
mean to
agree.
go on these little
No.
tangents.
I mean, I agree. Both of my parents and my brother are school teachers, so I 100% agree with more funding for education.
See, I'm the extreme one where I feel like not only should college shouldn't be for the wealthy. I feel like everyone should have the opportunity to go to college.
I agree.
You know, college should be something that if you want to go to college and get your degree, you should be allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't, you don't. It's not something you force people to do, but everyone should be able allowed to go to a community college or a local college and graduate and get their degree and move on. That should be just part of the American system.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how it gets this way.
Yeah.
So didn't mean to go into a whole little tangent there.
Well, before we move on and go to our break, I want to leave with this quote that Sean said because I think it's
Oh,
really
nice,
sweet.
nice.
He says, "As tragedy struck my life, it didn't have to strike me down. I had the choice of whether I wanted to do something great with it or whether I wanted to sit and kind of wallow in my pity. I hope you all get to choose to do something great with yours." So,
That's
Sean,
awesome.
bless you.
I love it. Do you have the link for the GoFundMe?
I can put it
I was
in
going
the
to say put it in the,
description.
yes, that's what I was going to suggest. So anyone
Yes.
that get a chance to see this can donate.
Sure, absolutely.
I don't know if I may donate. It just depends on some of that stuff gets kind of weird because because of
Oh, yeah.
being in Europe. So
Mhm.
I've tried to do that before in the past, and there's been things. So we'll figure it out. Bust into that Cayman's account.
God, the Caymans keeps coming back.
I really don't have account in the Caymans, everyone. Faith gets on me about my account in the Caymans.
Mercy. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I've got another Keeping the Faith feel-good story for you. So make sure you stick around, and we will be back in a minute.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about, we have our little Tuesday Keeping the Faith Feel Good story segment, and I thought I'd be nice and give you a daily dose of it, a double dose. So we got another one for you guys today. This one is also really, really sweet. It's so cute.
Okay.
I had so much fun finding these.
Wow. Okay. See, I'm over here. I want the Joe Dirt drinking Natty Light.
I mean, those are great too, but it's nice. It's nice
as his meth lab burns down. That's what I'm looking for.
It's nice to see humans being good humans, it's nice.
I love it. Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. So Rhode Island college students gift a security guard a trip home to Nigeria. James works as an overnight security guard for a residential building at Rhode Island's Providence College. A beloved mentor to students, James mentioned that he had not seen his family in Nigeria in more than a decade. Students worked together to start a GoFundMe to send James to Nigeria, and it went viral. So several students at Providence College in Providence, Rhode Island recently came together to give their building security guard the gift of a lifetime. It's just incredible to see how fast God works, especially in our community. Brendan Reichert said, we never thought that number would be possible. Reichert, a PC freshman, told Nextstar's WPRI 12 News he moved to create a GoFundMe page for the residential overnight security guard James, who had told him that he hadn't visited his family in Nigeria in more than a decade. The money raised was put toward sending James, who was also known as Unc, short for uncle, that's what the students called him, on a trip home, according to Reichert. He said James had become a mentor and close friend throughout his time at PC. Sophomore Daniel Singh said, "Everyone loves James. He's just someone you're drawn towards," Singh said. "He's kind and compassionate. After a Friday night out, you would come back and James is there, and he's not tired, he's not sleeping. He's up and awake and ready to talk to you." When Reichert gifted James the $3,000 he raised for him, the security guard fell to his knees. James said, "This was unexpected. I don't know how much I can thank you guys. I pray from the bottom of my heart and will continue to protect you guys." The donations haven't stopped since James received the money for his trip. Efforts to help James visit his family are picking up steam, and the GoFundMe page so far has raised more than $7,000. You have parents, cousins, relatives, and other people donating that wouldn't even know who James is. Singh said, "It really speaks to how moving he is and how moving the community can be." So
nice. Okay. So James Unc over here. That's kind of like the new thing. Like Unc. That's Unc. Like Shannon Sharp. They call him. They call him Unc. I saw a thing, Colin Cowherd. This is Uncle Colin. I'm like, Uncle Colin, you ain't my uncle. That's just the new thing. I'm calling people Unc for some reason. It's a nice story because you can tell it seems like the people care about them and like them.
Yeah.
Sometimes people get caught up with, you're not from America.
Mm-hmm.
And it's way more noticeable in the U.S. When you're here, you walk down the street and, I'm not the black guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm the American.
Mm-hmm.
She's the British woman. That's the guy from Nigeria or Mozambique, or this person's from Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
You're from a part of you're part of this whole melting pot of cultures
Mm-hmm.
and things here. And it's such a beautiful thing. That's one of the things I love so much about being here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just an American guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love hearing this story, how everyone kind of got behind this guy and is trying to help him go home.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for people who they come to the US for a better life.
Mm-hmm.
But
Opportunity. Yeah.
sometimes, yes, they're able to get a better life. But as you know, and I know, it's hard to survive in the US.
Yes,
And
it is.
it's you gotta work hard, and you gotta get lucky. You could be a hard working guy and have nothing.
Yeah.
And like this guy here, he's doing his job and everyone loves him and everyone supports him, but he hasn't been able to go back home to his family in a decade,
Mm-hmm.
and needing help from strangers, really. Yes, they know him as he does his job,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of times a lot of immigrants don't have family here.
Mm-hmm.
And so having a story where people are coming together to help him go home to see his family and spend time with his family and then come back, I just absolutely love this kind of a story,
Yeah.
because I see so many people from all over the world that comes in, and especially when I see people in the US, it's hard. It's hard to come to the US and have enough money to pay your bills and have to go back. Think about it. Even someone like yourself, people struggle to pay rent, utilities, and everything else, let alone, hey, I want to be able to get a flight and get my passport and get everything set up so I can go to Nigeria for a month.
Yeah.
Most people don't get, the vacation time, so helping him, because when you haven't been home, most people don't grasp this concept. When you haven't been home in a decade, coming back for, hey, I only got a 1 week vacation, so I'm going to fly in and then fly back. That's a 2-day flight there and a 2-day flight back. And then you got 3 days that you're really there to see your family? That's not enough time.
No.
So not only does he need money for the flight, which comes out to about $3,000.
Yeah, crazy amount of money.
The money he's going to need to be there for a little bit of time, plus the money so that he has when he comes back, does he have a place to stay? Because all his money.
Yeah,
right.
Like if he's living somewhere like where he's paying rent or owns or whatever in the States, he's got to keep up with those bills while he's
he's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason why some people will work a second job to travel, because their first job barely covers the bills for themselves to survive. And then, hey, I want to go on a trip. A friend of mine, she just got her passport, and she's been working a second job for 2 years, just gearing up so she have enough money to go on a trip. Don't you think that's kind of sad to me?
Yeah.
That, so this poor guy, he's not planning on this luxury vacation. He just wants to go home to his back to his country, see his friends and his family. I don't speculate mom, dad, aunt, uncles, and all that, but he wants to see his family.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard one there.
Yeah. Yeah. This one touched me because so where I live, my apartment has a shuttle that goes from the apartment complex to campus and then back into and there's this one guy, his name's Rocky. He's our shuttle
What up,
driver.
Rocky?
He's our shuttle driver, and he is so great. He's so nice. Sometimes I'll sit up front with him and I'll chat on the drive there and on the drive back. And I guess you don't really realize that those people like touch your lives like that. And
Yes.
I guess you don't realize that you touch their lives like that as well, because you're not just viewing them as someone that's, working a job. They're just there to, be a security guard, or they're just there to drive the shuttle, and so you don't really like think about like talking to them or anything. But like once you like sit down and have a conversation, they're more than likely some of the nicest people you will ever meet. Like I didn't go, but Rocky invited me to his wedding that he had in February.
Oh, nice.
And like he invited a lot of the other college students who ride the shuttle. He invited a bunch of like the college students to his wedding because, we all love Rocky so much.
See, I would have went. I'm a big believer, first off, because I totally get what you're coming from. A lot of times, I always try to remember those people. Sometimes you only think about the people close to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the reasons why back when I used to be in the U.S., I used to do the big Halloween so that all the kids got like the big giant candy bar and the big experience, because it touches people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I always believed in that one. I'm always the guy, like you see someone and they're trying to figure out, they're paying, you see they're buying groceries and they're a little short. If I see someone short, a lot of times, especially if it's a mom and I have it, I'll try to help.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that in the past as well, because I just feel like that stuff comes back to you. And if you help someone, maybe someone will help you.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I like about this best, is that people are helping each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many stories about people getting torn down. This is an uplifting story where people are helping him go back to Nigeria. And I hope people realize that not only while he's there, he's not working, and security guards don't get paid much money. So hopefully there's enough money that he can pay his rent, utilities, and everything while he goes home to see the family and comes back.
Yeah.
Haven't been to Nigeria, haven't been to Africa, planning on going to Morocco. It's crazy that I haven't been to Africa yet, where I'm literally just 5 hours away from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So planning on hitting Morocco this summer. So I'll be heading Africa soon.
Nice.
Come along, Faith. Come along.
I don't have that kind of money, Tate.
Oh, that is hilarious. No,
I got one vacation this year.
Are you going anywhere? Aren't you going? No, you didn't go anywhere for spring break. Where
No,
did you go?
No, for spring break, I just stayed here. My spring break was more of like a relaxing reset. I slept a lot and I was lazy. I loved it. No, but in the summer, I'm going on a cruise with my big family. My family.
What's considered a big
huge.
family?
So my mom, my dad are going. My brother, his wife, their 2 kids. My sister, her 2 kids. My grandma and my other grandma. And I have an aunt and an uncle coming. And then me and my boyfriend.
What about cousin Tate?
You are more than welcome to come if you want to.
I'll hang out with the 2 grandmas.
So that's 16 people, I believe, going on this cruise altogether. So
That's awesome. That's awesome.
And that's not even like all of my. Yeah, I have a very big family.
I come from a huge family as well, but we wouldn't all go on a cruise together. Cruises.
I like my family.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because a cruise, you're kind of confined. And where are you going anywhere kind of cool? Like where are you cruising to?
We're going to Cozumel, Mexico, and we are also going to Mahogany Bay, which is in Rotan, Honduras. So I'm very excited. We have excursions.
Never been to Honduras. Been all over.
Excursions for both of them.
You're going to go to a country I've never been to, Honduras.
I've been to Honduras several times. My family is we're big cruisers, and so I've been to Honduras. I think this will be the third time me going to Honduras.
You don't understand. I don't know anyone who's been to Honduras. That's that's a unique one there. That's
Mahogany Bay is really beautiful. It's like basic Caribbean island. It's so pretty. The water's a light blue.
I love South America and Central America.
White sand beaches. Great. I'm so excited.
Honduras. So you got something on your resume I do not have, and I've hit South America and Central America hard. But yeah.
I've been to because I think this will be my 5th or 6th cruise. So I've been to a lot of places in the Caribbean area, so I've got a long list of places that I've been to in that area.
Your family are cruisers. Though. I'm more of the resort kind of guy. I like going to the resort and just All right.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to close out the show. Thank you guys for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content updates. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.